Welcome back, everyone. 13 after the hour, and we're continuing our 500th show, Retro-Spectacular, with a look back at my early radio career. I began on XM satellite radio because I won a national contest called the Search for the Next Great Progressive Talk Radio Star. After I turned in my 2-minute tape, I was thrown into the pool with a bunch of other people from radio stations all around the country. 8 of us were selected for live quarterfinals, 4 of us made the live semifinals, and then the live finals took place in Washington, D.C., where I flew out and I delivered this little mini rant.
The search for America's next progressive talk radio star begins here.
Let's get out of here. I have some really good weed back at the hotel.
Hendricks! Hey, man, has anybody got any Cheetos?
War on
Certain American citizens using non-pharmaceutical, non-alcoholic, tobacco-free
drugs.
It's 30 after the hour, and you're back with Radical Russ Belville on the search for the next progressive talk radio star. We're here live at the Center for American Progress, taking your calls at 1-866-55-PRESS. And, you know, we're still celebrating the great election we had this month, which was absolutely a fabulous election, unless you're a pot-smoking homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We had 3 initiatives that were on the ballots in states all across the country here. In Nevada and Colorado, they were voting on legalizing personal use of marijuana, personal possession of marijuana. And in South Dakota, they were voting on medical marijuana to make it the 12th medical marijuana state. All 3 initiatives lost. In Nevada, they got only 44% of the vote. In Colorado, only 40%. And in San Diego, 48% of the vote for medical marijuana. And, you know, I work a lot with medical marijuana patients, and I can tell you honestly that this is a true medical miracle for very many people. When you've helped an 82-year-old woman who's never even touched a drug in her life, who's never even drank, and you've helped her out with her glaucoma, or you've dealt with a person in a wheelchair who's suffering severe pain, and you help them out with the medical marijuana, and you see that immediate reaction of pain relief. Or someone with multiple sclerosis who's trembling so bad they can't even write their own name, and with a little medical marijuana, the tremors immediately calm down. I'm really excited about the upcoming Congress, because Congressman Barney Frank has been a sponsor, been a champion for the medical marijuana movement, and has always, every year he has sponsored this bill, the states' rights to medical marijuana, which the idea is if the states have decided to have medical marijuana, the federal government should leave them alone. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just a no-brainer. The fact that Marinol and Sativex, which are these extracts of marijuana that can be bottled and price tagged and put a barcode on, those are legal in America. Those are Schedule III drugs. They can completely be used by anyone. But marijuana, the raw ingredient, is illegal all across the country. And I think part of this problem here is that we've got a moral issue that we're dealing with. You know, we've got everybody, you know, when you hear legalize, it's tee-hee, it's just a joke, it's just a bunch of stoners looking to get high. But really, this is something that progressive needs to stand up for and fight against this drug war. We've got a prison population that's at 2 million people, the largest prison population in the world, and over half those people are in there for drug offenses. We spend $50 billion every year at the state and federal level to fight this war on drugs, and nothing we do is having any effect on drug use at all over the past 3 decades. High school kids still say it's easier to get marijuana than it is to get beer. Why? Because people who sell beer check for IDs. That's why. But, you know, this is a moral issue. You know, I come from America's heartland, you know, the Intermountain West, Idaho. And I always think that people really aren't voting against marijuana so much as they're voting against the summer of love in their backyard. They don't want to have dirty, stinky, tie-dyed hippies with dreadlocks running around all over the place. But you know, we're wasting time. We're wasting time and money and lives with this war on drugs. And the first step, folks, the first step is that we need to separate the marijuana issue from the rest of the drugs issue. The National Survey on Drug Use and Health shows from 2004 that 85% of your drug users only smoke marijuana. And is anyone really afraid of the marijuana smoker? I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? They make a run on the Cheetos. You know, we run out of our national supply of Cheetos. Is that the worst thing that's going to happen here? It's not like the meth freaks are out there stealing metal off of bridges, or the coke fiends that are going to rob you to get their next fix. So let's separate that issue right away. And here's my tack on this. We flip the morality. Let's flip the morality on this issue. If people have a negative impression of people who use marijuana, let's use that to our advantage. Let's say tax the deadbeat stoners. This is a billion-dollar industry, folks. Billions of dollars that people are making completely untaxed. Completely, I'd rather see that money going to help schools and to help our education system, to help our healthcare system, rather than having some, pothead make money for his VW bus. Let's tax the stoners. There was a Harvard study that came out last year. Jeffrey Myron and Milton Friedman and 500 economists signed on and said, if we taxed and regulated marijuana like alcohol, we would make $14 billion a year. $14 billion a year in savings and tax revenue. So that's something for you to think about, progressives out there. Think about that war on drugs, and if you're not standing up against it, then I question just how progressive you are. Anyway, it's 36 after the hour, and that's it for me, Radical Russ Belville, on the search for the next progressive talk radio star. It's been great talking with you, America, and many thanks go out to the Center for American Progress Action Fund for sponsoring the contest, and the folks at AM 620